Hello and welcome to another TP's Diary video. Well, yes, we're almost there on this manual conversion now. If you've been watching the videos, you would have seen all the sort of mechanical installation is done, which is great. I don't have to climb underneath this car so much anymore, which is that's a huge relief, I have to say, because it completely wears you out after a while. Anyway, yeah, we've got the interior to do today, and I've got a couple of custom little bits that I have to make. Hopefully I'll get those done in today's video, but if we're really lucky, I'm hoping that we can make some good progress and potentially get the car started by the end of the day. So yeah, let's stop waffling and get stuck in. The first thing I want to do is I've got a new Speedo drive cable here, and I need to change that, because one of the last things that I noticed before I pulled the car into the garage to do this conversion was that there was a sort of distinctive ticking noise coming from behind the dashboard, and I don't know whether it's the clock or whether it's the cable, but I thought, well, while I've got all of this out, it's quite easy to change the cable, so I think it's prudent to do that. They're not that expensive. I think I got this S&G Barrett I got this from. They don't sponsor me, by the way. But yeah, I got it from them. It took a couple of weeks to arrive, and I think it was, including postage and everything, about £27. So it wasn't the end of the world. Hopefully it's the right length. It should be. So I think that's the first thing. Once I've done that, then I want to get this bit on, which is the new cover. And then we've got a couple of bits that we need to do on this. So this relay that needs to be reattached somewhere. There is also this bracket here, which is the light. It's basically the fiber optic lighting for the dash. So I need to reattach that. I'm not sure I'm going to use the bracket, to be honest. I might just reattach it using those screws. But anyway, let's get on and get that Speedo drive cable fitted. This is the old. I haven't taken the old one out yet. So the old one comes down, and there's a hole in the side of the transmission tunnel, quite a big hole. I've got to be really super careful I don't break anything. Let's put that over there for a moment. Okay, that's that. Right, so what we need to do is get the Speedo out. So in order to do it, you push it in. I can't remember whether it was this one or the Daimler, to be honest. That was really tough to do. Let's just take that off. Got it. Right. So that's what I did before. That's why it was tricky. Because I think before what I did was I actually took out this one first. There we are. Right. And then I was able to put my hand in and unscrew the drive. Yeah, that's how I did it. Right. Now, how easy is that? I think pretty easy. Hop out for this one. Okay, that's the old drive out. What I want to do is just put a little cable tie around that end. Then it stops the little doodah, the little nut, slipping off. There we go. Right. Okay, so let's try and get him into position. Okay, so now we've got the Speedo drive cable in. That's all connected in properly. You can just just about, let me just show you. You can see it's all screwed into its 90-degree drive down there. Like I say, once I've done this, I will have to send the Speedo off and have it calibrated, because of the gearbox. It wasn't reading correctly in the first place, to be honest. So it did needed calibration anyway. So next I want to put on this cover, and yeah, I've got I already know I've got the wiring loom that's coming up through from the gearbox for the reverse light switch, and also the safety switch where it won't, so you can't start it unless it's in neutral. I've got that wiring loom that needs to come up through. So there is a hole down here which I need to fill in. I don't think I'm going to use that. That is basically the where the gear selector cable ran through for the auto gearbox. So let's get the gear lever off now, because I want to just literally offer up this cable. Let's just move you out the way carefully. I want to offer up this this cover, and I don't think I want to have the gear lever actually on. So okay, so we've just now got to just sort this little bit out. I'm going to put in, I've got some grommets here, and I'm thinking I need to put in around about there a grommet. So I've got a grommet, and I think it's going to be all right. That can just sort of sit in at about there. And then I've also got to just trim this bit here. Just trim that off, and then that will be a bit easier. In the kits that came from Simply Performance, there was this plate. I believe this is probably going to be for the gator, but I'm actually going to use it for this, I think. And because I've got a different idea for the gator. So I think what I want to do is I want to just trim this up so that sort of fits on like that. Yeah, and then if basically, I think what I'll end up doing is I'll end up just riveting this on once I get the gear lever in place, and then I honestly don't think it needs to be any more than that. Think it's going to work. Like that. Okay, then put that on like that. Bit unconventional that, but it works. So I think that now we can go back into the car, and I think we're now ready to install this. I was thinking of putting gunge all the way around. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around with silver tape. Don't know. I'm just going to have a quick look at what I've got. So I will meet you back in the car. Right, so I think I'm going to use a bit of Sikaflex around this this cover, but it's going to create a hell of a mess if I try and put it on and then put the cover in. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cover in, get it all in place, get the wire in place, make sure I'm happy with it all, and then once I'm happy with it, I'm then going to run a bead of silicone around the outside, and then I'll cover it up with a bit of silver tape, which is a bit like this stuff. So yeah, let's now get this in. Hopefully this is going to be for the final time, I hope. Okay, right, let's get a couple of these screws in. Right, so that is that in place now. No doubt these wires, this wiring loom is going to have to be poked and moved around a bit in order for it to all fit. No doubt. I think that goes quite a long way back in there, but anyway, right. Now let's get this gear lever on. Okay, right, that's that. So next what we need to do is we need to put this little fella on, and I'm just going to rivet him on there. Right, last one. So now we've got the challenge of sealing everything up. Let's just prove the concept works first by doing it this. Yeah. So the reason I'm doing this is I don't want any fumes coming back into the cabin. Okay, so I have now sealed up all the way around the outside of that cover and also just under the gear lever itself. I've also finished off this little plate here, this aluminium plate here. Well, that plate is where the selector cable went through, and it had this little bracket that sort of went on that side and it came up and round. So the next part of this is, I think we can now start thinking about getting the center console in. I might just make up these wires here. So what I've got here is these are the What's that? So that's the reverse lamp, and that's the reverse light there, and then the other one is the neutral, which is that one there. So I might get those connected up next, and because then I can poke them right up out the way. I can poke them right up out the way. There's actually a connector there, so what I might do is just use a straight connector and connect them up that way. Right, let me go and get the tools, and let's get those connected up. We can poke them up out the way, and then I think we can start thinking about getting the getting that trim in. So right, let's get those wires connected up. So this is the reverse light that we're doing at the minute. That's one. That's the reverse light done. So just they can be moved up. Put those on in a minute. Okay, so next we want to do the start inhibitor switch. So basically it will only start if it's in neutral. Right, and that is that now done. So I think that can be poked right back in there now. Next we've got to just carefully bring this round. There's two pipes that run down here for the rear heater vents. Let's grab those two pipes, and then we are, I don't know, that looks like it's never going to all fit in there, but it will. Came out, so it has to fit in. Okay. Imagine they go in. Like that. Okay, that's got it. Looks like we're getting there now. So I've got to get the center console now. Okay, so whoops. Right, it's all getting very busy in here now. Right, so let's get this in now. I'm thinking at all possible that could go up there. So could that switch go here? Maybe I can get the cup with a bit of ingenious rerouting of the cables. So I have two different sizes here. They're just not going to fit, those big ones, but these little ones might. Can you get, what can you put in there? if you can't put a can of Coke or a bottle of Coke in there, then there's absolutely no point in moving forward with those. But I think those two will go in. And I think I can get those. I can probably just rewire this switch a little bit and extend the cables a bit. Put the V12 badge there and the two cup holders. I'm going to go and grab myself a can of Coke and make sure they fit into these, because if they do, then I think these big ones, they're not fitting. There's just no way they're going in. But these little ones, I reckon I can get them in. So let's go and get a bottle of Coke, a bottle of pop, as they say, and we'll check it out. Righto. Well, I've got my my can of drink here, and yeah, fits perfectly. So we're going to go with the small cup holders. Yeah, the only reason I do that is I had a car once that had cup holders in it that actually didn't fit a can of Coke. So anyway, right. So whilst I was doing that, let's just put that down there so don't spill it. Whilst I was doing that, I've just hooked up the battery because I just want to check that the car will, and I've taken the coil lead off. I just need to make sure that we're going to have ignition, and also I want to check to make sure that the reverse lights all work before we go any further. So let's just try the ignition. Okay, so it's turning over at least. I'm not sure. Okay, I don't think I should do any more. I think what I need to do is actually put some oil in that gearbox. Yeah, I need to put some oil in that gearbox, and I think I'm actually going to start the car. So, well, let's just check the. Let's just check the reverse lights, see if they're coming on. Okay, that's good news. Right. I think yes. I think we need to just put some transmission oil in this car now, and then we'll actually just make sure it fires up before I go any further. I don't want to get all of this in and then find that it was normally closed or normally open, that the old switch, and the new one is the other opposite way around, so the car won't start, which means I'd have to take all this out again in order to get to that cable. So yeah, let's climb underneath and get that transmission oil in the car. Okay, so let's just get this filled up with oil. This is the filler plug here. Okay, now, all right, that's okay. Now I've got my new very smart pump here, which makes filling up these things an absolute doddle. It comes with this sort of kit of bits, so you can, like that. So all we have to do is put the pipe in and pump, which makes life very easy. So we can just open that up. Now this oil that I'm putting into this transmission, this Tremec transmission, it's a Dextron 3 ATF fluid. Why it needs an automatic transmission fluid, I don't know, but that's what's recommended. Just a high quality transmission fluid, and theoretically it should take around about 3 litres. This is my pump. Works an absolute treat. And that's 3 litres. Okay, so oh, got it all over myself. Great. Okay. Okay, so that is the transmission filled up with fluid now. So what I need to now do is make sure that engine can start, and then we can carry on. So let's climb out from underneath here now and make sure the engine's going to start, shall we? Well, hopefully that's going to be all right. So we're going to now go for the initial start. Let's see. Interesting. Why did you stop then? Whoa! Okay. Massive fuel leak. Right. Let me show you. So it's blown the end of the stopper out somewhere, and we've got fuel everywhere. So I think we just need to let that evaporate off for a bit. I'm going to disconnect the battery, and then we'll go for another start in a minute. Right. Yeah, that's pretty big fuel leak that we've just had. Basically, on the fuel rail, you've got these little stubby pipes, which basically, when you're setting up the fuel pressure, you need to attach a fuel gauge, a pressure gauge to those. So I've just put a bolt in there for the moment, and I think it's going to need. I need to machine up a little barb stop to go in both sides, because that was basically an accident waiting to happen, and essentially all it did was full pressure and filled up the valley with fuel. So I've just got the airline here and trying to so this is going to take me a bit of time to dry out all this fuel. So yeah, well, we're going to have to save the start for another time. But at least we know that wiring that I've done now will work, so we can get back inside the car now. I am just going to finish cleaning this fuel up. We're going to get back inside the car and carry on getting all the interior back together, because I think that's what I want to get done for this video. So let's get back in the car, and we'll we'll get that interior finished off. Okay, so now we've established that the wiring is right. The reverse lights come on, and obviously we can start the engine, but I'm going to wait for all that fuel to evaporate, like I said. So I think that's going to be for the next video. Let's finish off now getting this interior in, and I've just got to get the stereo in. I've got some more like fiber optics in, so I want to sort of get it to a point where basically I've just got to put the armrest, the box in, and the ski slope in, and then we'll start making up that ski slope. So that's that one. Then I've just got to sort the ones out in the back here, so let me just do that. Okay, and that pops in like that with two screws, one down here. Right, that's the back of it done. Okay, so then we put the seat swab in. Okay, right, that's the seat swab in. Right, so I think what we need to do now is put this little cover on. So that just so that pops on here. Okay, let's do the same on that one. Well, we're making progress now, so let's get the stereo in. I think that's the next thing that we should think about. Okay, so these are the bits for it. Now, is there any particular way up that goes? Let's just now fit the cage. So now, let's poke you on. So that goes in there, like that. I see. And that one goes on like that. And that goes on like that. And that pops on. And then that goes in. Okay, that's the radio back in. Should we see if it works? Yay! Well,
desperately need something. And there's a point at where we've got to unromance.
there we go. Oh, hang on. So, well, there you go. There's the radio in, and it's working, which is great. So, yeah, I think we're going to leave that video there for the minute. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please do hit that like button and do subscribe. It's completely free, and you know, the channel keeps growing, and it's great to see how it's growing. And if you've got any comments, please send the comments through. Always like receiving those and hearing your thoughts and views. Anyway, the next video we're going to tackle the ski slope and try and make a new one of those, and then finish this this interior for good. So thank you all so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.